This is the first of some Matlab tutorials that is meant to help you guys get more comfortable using Matlab as a programming language for lab use, whether this be modeling, solving equations, helping you write your protocols, etc., etc. So I am currently assuming that you have already downloaded Matlab. If you haven't already, go to this site. It's on Cornell IT. Just Google search Cornell IT install Matlab and you will find it. It has very detailed instructions for how to download Matlab. So if you haven't done so already, pause this video and go to this website and make sure you have Matlab installed. Once you've installed Matlab, it's going to look a little bit like this. Don't worry if it looks a little scary. We will discuss how to work with all of this. So we have our command window, and this is a place to do some small calculations, any small commands that don't require a lot of coding. So for example, if I want to just do a simple calculation like 6 times 7, I can do that. It will spit out the answer, 42. And that is also located over here in the workspace. So the workspace is where all your variables are stored. So for example, Matlab has just made a variable called ans, which is answer, and has given it the value 42. We can then work with this value, for example, ans divided by 7, and it will give us 6. So this is the default variable. What if we want to make our own variable? Let's say we want a variable x is equal to 5. And the workspace will store this for us. It's right over here. It has stored 5 in x. You can change it if you'd like. You can put x equals 10 instead, and it will change this value over here in the workspace. You can also work with x by, I don't know, x times 8, and that'll give us 80. Yeah, so the command window is very useful for this, but if we want to do more complex calculations or functions, such as solving differential equations, we're going to need a little bit more than this command window because it's quite annoying to have to go line by line if you have a much larger program you want to run. So to do this, you have to write a new script. So a couple things about this editor here and this current folder window over here. So this folder shows you what directory you're working in. Directory or folder, same thing. So this will tell you what is within the scope of Matlab. So for example, if you want to do data analysis on an Excel file, you have to put this Excel file in the same folder as this Matlab file. So I'm going to save this Matlab file and put it in this folder. So I'm going to call it demo2. I'm going to save it here, and now it shows up in my current folder. So this is the editor. So this is where I write my script, and I can use this run button to run my script. Now, just a few things about syntax in Matlab. If I want to comment something, I can write a %, and it won't run anything. So this does nothing. It's just purely for your own note-taking sake or for other people to read your code. So if I want to make a section of code, I can put 2 % and a space after it so that if I want to run only one section of it at a time of my code, I can do this using this run section button. So for example, if I want to say disp hello and disp world, I can run them both. It'll print hello world in the command window. Disp stands for display, so you can put any string in here and it will print it. But what if I just want to say hello? I can hit run section, and this will just say hello. That's it. Okay, great. So that's segmentation. So we can run individual sections. So this script is very useful for more complex functions, but first let's go over just simply making a variable. So let's say we want to do the same thing that we did in the command window. Let's make x equals to 10. Now this semicolon, you could have it or you don't have to have it. So if you leave it off, Matlab might complain a little bit. This is a little warning. What this means is it will output something if you run it. So for example, it will show up in the command window. Usually we want to avoid this because it gets a little messy in the command window if we have a lot of variables like this. So we will tend to put a semicolon after it so that it doesn't print anything. I'm going to hit run and notice nothing prints out. So let's say that we wanted to work with x. We can say x is equal to y times x. This would work the same in the command window. I'm going to put a semicolon after it because I don't want it to print anything. And then I will have it display y. And it will only show y down here. And we can see that y has also been changed over here. Now, what if I wanted to make this a little bit more robust, right? What if I didn't want to have all this messy function over here? What if I wanted to isolate it? Now, here it's not so clear why you would want to do this, but if you have more complex functions, it can make your code a lot cleaner. So to make a function in Matlab, you have to hit the keyword function and then put in your return and then an equal sign and then your function name. So let's say get square and then your argument. So let's put in an x as our argument, which is just your input value. So we need to assign something to this return value or output value. So I'm going to say return equals x times x. And this just allows you to get back the square of x. So let's replace this line with instead y equals get square x. So this will actually get us the same thing. It printed twice because I forgot to put a semicolon here. Let's try this again, one more time. There you go, it printed once here. If you want to clear this command window because it gets a little messy, because like here I couldn't really tell if this was new or not, you can hit CLC, which clears the command window and it gets a lot cleaner. So let's run the section and we only get one printed out 100 from this display function. So this function works for any value. So what if I wanted to do, let's say I wanted to do z equals 4, right? And I can do, let's say v is equal to get square z. Let's not forget our semicolons. And then we'll hit display v because we want to find that. Okay, let's run this section. And this will give us 16. Great. This is indeed the square of 4. So this has been a quick introduction to functions and just in general a tour of MATLAB. So next time I will talk about some basic programming concepts like loops and a little bit more about functions. Thanks for watching.